So what do you do on the face of bad news? Well, you make up some more. We're going to talk about that and more on today's episode of the Geek Watch podcast.
This is the Geek Watch podcast with Brian Hatcher and Mandy Petrie.
Greetings, Geek Watchers, and welcome to episode 242 of the Geek Watch podcast. I'm Brian Hatcher, and with me, as always, Geek Watch's very own resident geek goddess, Mandy Petrie.
Hello, Brian.
So I want to start out with Doctor Who news. And the news itself is actually the news. Because there was an article in The Sun, the British tabloid newspaper, that Doctor Who is, after this next season, getting dropped from Disney, that Ncuti Gatwa is quitting the show. They've already filmed his regeneration. It's already been filmed. And that's going to be it for Doctor Who.
So then why was there a regeneration?
Well, they said he already filmed it, but they're going to put it on hiatus for 10 years, basically.
Oh, okay.
They're going to put it on a hiatus for 10 years. Now, for people who are right now going, dude, that's The Sun. It's topless women on page 3. Yes, I completely agree with you. Their record for...
It's not The Sun that said, yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. It's a different Sun.
No, exactly. This is the British tabloid newspaper that on occasion has reported on Doctor Who, and their track record for getting things right is pretty nil. Mm-hmm. And the BBC at this point has already said that no, none of this is true. We're scheduled with Disney. Our contract's for 26 shows. We've only done 13. We've got plenty left. And once that's done, we can figure it out from there. But Doctor Who isn't going anywhere. And even if we wind up leaving Disney Plus, the BBC is still committed to making Doctor Who. So it's not going to go anywhere. So don't worry about that. So why am I even talking about this? Well, I'm talking about it because it was shocking to me how many places decided to run with this story. And some of the places that reported on it, some of the people online, some of the YouTube channels that reported on this, of course, decided to use that as a way to justify a particular agenda that they've been promoting for a while. Shows are getting canceled. Doctor Who is getting canceled because, well, the W word. Woke.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, it was just a matter of time. You know,
yeah.
Get woke, go broke. And that isn't what's going on here.
Like 30 episodes later.
Yeah. But I've been seeing a lot of that. And there's also been news about Marvel, about 3 TV shows that have been put on the back burner. The Nova show Strange Academy, which was supposed to be like Wizard School taught by Wong.
Oh, fun.
And one called Terror Inc., which is about a character who's like Taskmaster, can copy people's talents.
Yes.
But does it by cutting off a piece of their body and gluing it onto themselves. Yeah.
That's a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's based off of a comic.
What kind of glue?
Well, this character secretes an acid that works as an adhesive when gluing pieces onto himself.
Okay.
Also, but works as a solvent when cutting pieces off of something else.
Oh, does it have a name like web fluid?
Terror. I think it gained this ability after a oil platform accident on a Roxxon oil platform.
Vat of acid.
So, yeah. So something like that. So,
vat of toxic waste. I forget. The old classic. You fall into a vat of toxic waste
and you become the Toxic
Yes.
Avenger. Yes. So these weren't greenlit. These were considerations, but they were looking at it. They hadn't written any scripts or anything like that, and they didn't have any plans solidified. So it's not like these were shows that were in production and just got killed. They're just looking at stepping back. And then, of course, the issues that are going on with the new Captain America movie. It had a decent weekend last weekend, but some people are declaring it a flop because it really didn't have anything going against it. There weren't any other movies that were premiering along with the new Captain America movie. So some people have declared it a flop. Again, that's just a matter of perspective. And this weekend, there's, I think besides The Monkey, there's not really anything major opening up. And so they're looking at what's Captain America going to do this next weekend with not a lot of competition. It's one of those situations where we have news that some people seem to be very content on twisting it to fit an agenda, a narrative that is close to what they've been saying. I feel like it's very difficult to get your news as news. I have noticed a lot of that, especially now, because I don't want to turn this into a political program. I don't want to do that, but politics is going to start weighing a lot on entertainment.
Seems like, yeah.
It's becoming more and more an issue, I feel, because we're now going into serious trade wars with other countries, with tariffs and other things that we're doing right now. The United States and their relationships with their trade partners are becoming very strained. Now, where this is going to really become an issue in entertainment, especially with movies, especially with these hundreds of millions of dollars it takes to make movies, success in the United States just isn't enough anymore. You have to be a success in the world. You have to have global success.
Yes. Waterworld.
Yeah, you have to be able to make money in a bunch of different countries. I mean, just to break even, you have to be very successful. You can definitely tell that movie studios and television studios are worried right now, and they're playing more conservatively. Now, it was a long time ago, so you may not remember a lot of this, Mandy, but a few years ago, there was this global pandemic.
Maybe.
It wouldn't surprise me. You're young. You probably don't even remember any of that stuff. But for us old people who remember it, it was rough having to sit in your house for days, weeks, months, over a year. And that was a huge impact on entertainment, clearly. And we're about ready to go into that again. It's just that we're isolating ourselves from the rest of the world, and we're doing it on purpose. And because of that, I think there's a lot of insecurity in entertainment because they don't know what this is going to do. And to be honest, I haven't looked at the numbers yet for Captain America in other countries, but marketing a movie called Captain America right now is going to be difficult. Now, I may be wrong. Like I said, this is a speculation on my part. I haven't looked at the hard numbers, but we're in Canada where they're having a hockey game against an American hockey team. And when they play the U.S. national anthem, they boo it. Right now, things ain't good for the United States and other countries. You can definitely tell, just looking through social media, that other countries are looking at us with the side eye, to use a saying that the kids like to use. We're giving the world the ick. Movie studios, television studios, they're very well aware that's what we're doing, and they are very insecure now. You can definitely tell. And they're playing their cards closer to the chest. They're becoming more conservative when it comes to what they're going to do. And I think we're really going to start seeing that in our entertainment. And just from the impact of COVID, things ground to a halt in a major way. That's something that they're worried is going to happen again. But on top of that, we're still trying to dig out from under everything that happened during COVID, and where COVID basically screwed up things for years. And we're still trying to recover from that. What's going to happen to entertainment this time around, it's going to be worse, and it's going to happen faster because we are not really in a place where we are that secure. We're already starting to see the damage done. If things keep going the way that they're going, we could very well see at the very least 4 years of this, unless policies change or something happens that we start seeing free trade again. We're going to see problems across the board when it comes to economy. That's certainly going to affect entertainment on both sides. You're going to lose market, not just your foreign market, but your domestic market. You're going to see that happen across the board. And so is it going to make sense to spend $100 million, $200 million, $500 million on a movie that you're going to have limited marketing to? And the first time around with COVID, they were like, well, we'll just put stuff on streaming. We all know now that will not sustain you. No. It's not a good substitute. And so it comes down to entertainment's, they're hurting right now. And it's not going to get better soon.
No.
And I can definitely tell you, I'm planning on seeing Captain America this weekend. I didn't go opening weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I had considered going to see it this week, and I didn't manage to get around to it, but I'm going to try to go see it this weekend. I'm a little bit concerned about what the movie theater is going to look like. It might be a little bit quiet, but it seems to me, and I guess we'll find out as things go along, but the idea of a big budget blockbuster movie, it doesn't sound like a good investment in this economy.
Mm-hmm.
And it may not be a good investment for a while. In your situation, I know you don't go to a lot of movies, but where do you see things?
I wait for them to come out on streaming. I'm okay waiting. It's not a big deal for me. Very few movies am I just dying to, I have to see right now. I'm okay. I'm patient. But me, I don't mind spoilers either. Some people can't stand not knowing, but they've never bothered me. And so they're going to have to know their audience and what's going to get people excited to get out again.
And I can definitely tell you some of the stuff that I've been watching. I just watched the season finale of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
And I can definitely tell you some of the stuff they've done is interesting. Slight spoiler, I won't go into a whole lot of detail, but they did change a little bit of Peter Parker's origin story in this. I think I've mentioned before that there are some references to stuff in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but you can tell that this world is not the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Okay.
You can tell some things have happened differently.
Mm-hmm.
And without going into a whole lot of detail, I will say that one of the changes that they made with Spider-Man's origin story is he got his powers from the bootstrap paradox, which we've talked about on the show before.
Where something doesn't really exist, like you keep going, no one knows came from, right?
Exactly.
No one made this watch.
Yeah, it's like,
Someone handed it to you.
Somebody handed it to you, and it
No one
turned out
built
it was
this
somebody
watch.
from you. It was you in the
yeah.
future. And so if you received this watch from this older person you didn't recognize and you took it with you back in time and found the younger self and gave you the watch.
No one built the watch.
No, where did the watch come from?
Where'd the watch come from?
Yeah.
No one wrote the song in Back to the Future. Johnny Be Good.
Exactly.
Johnny Be Good is the bootstrap. No one wrote it.
Exactly. No one wrote it. But I did watch Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and I thought some of the stuff in it was interesting. It seems like all the characters, if they don't have powers in the show, in the comics, they do. You can definitely tell there are some parallels. And it's interesting to look for the Easter eggs. So you have a scientist with one arm. Her name is Dr. Connors. So it's like, okay, the lizard, we get that. Like I said, a bunch of different references. And it was interesting. And I liked it. I mean, did I love it? I mean, would it have broken my heart if I had never got to watch any of this stuff? Well, not particularly, even though Spider-Man is my favorite superhero, has been since I was a kid. I've loved Spider-Man. But, I mean, it was an okay show. I mean, it wasn't like the ground shook. It's not like the greatest show ever. But that, again, has me a little bit concerned. Is that where we've gone? Have we had these moments that were just so devastating that a show that's just decent isn't good enough anymore? And we got to the place where we've, is it like we've eaten things that are so sugary or so salty that unless it's turned up to 11, it's just like tasteless to us? Have we gotten to that point? Have we just been exposed to media to a degree that has been so intense, so dramatic, that just your regular show doesn't do it anymore?
Right.
That's a problem, because to get shows like that are going to require not just big budgets, but superlative writing. And a lot of these shows don't quite hit
People love the McDonald's hamburger because of its consistency.
Yeah.
Everyone remembers the best hamburger they ever had, but they only ever had it one time.
Yeah.
But people eat McDonald's every single day because they like the consistency.
But, the thing about it is, if you drink soda a lot, you don't tend to like the taste of water.
Right.
But the water's the good stuff. And I think that, on top of the fact that everybody feels like they're a critic now.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so you go into watching a show with a critical eye instead of just going in to have a good time, ready to tear your art apart because you're going to be pointing your camera phone at you to make a YouTube video or a TikTok about it, or heaven forbid, you're going to do a podcast. Jesus, why would you want to do that? So you're not going in with that idea of just being willing to enjoy it, going in to basically decide whether you're going to have something good to say about it or not. And then on top of that, just the absolute cost, the hundreds of millions of dollars it costs to make stuff now, even if it's on TV. TV used to be where you could get off cheaply and get away with it. Now, a lot of TV shows, they have movie level budgets.
Yes.
You can't even really do a TV show cheaply anymore. So the question is, will movies and television ever get good again? Will we ever get to a place where we can consistently enjoy stuff without things just being completely over the top or having to drag politics into what we watch, or we have to invent news to make our media interesting? Or can we just enjoy stuff? Can we just do that? Is it possible? Or have we gone too far and we can't go back? Well, I guess we'll see.
We shall see.
And with that said, we come to the end of episode 242. Thank you for listening, and tune in next time for the latest in geek news and views with the Geek Watch podcast. For Mandy Petrie, this is Brian Hatcher, reminding all the Geek Watchers out there, we're all geeky about something. Be proud of yours. See you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Geek Watch podcast. If you enjoyed this program, don't forget to like and subscribe on your preferred platform and share this podcast on your social media. For links to all the ways you can listen to the Geek Watch podcast, as well as leave comments and suggestions, visit our website at geekwatch.net. The Geek Watch podcast is a Hanging J production.